Jessica.
Hi, Annabel.
Hi, so nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Thank you so much for coming and bringing this.
Thanks so much for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah. So Cayman R.
Cayman R, indeed.
I've never really actually been up close and personal with one before, and I'm kind of a little bit in love.
Well, that makes two of us. I'm very in love with it. So yeah. Fantastic to be here with it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And how long have you had the car?
Since January 4th, officially.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's new.
So it's quite new.
Yeah.
It's quite new to me.
Oh, wow.
We're still kind of getting acquainted, but already madly in love.
And what drew you to get in a Cayman R?
Well, I've wanted a Porsche for a long time, and I wanted a Cayman specifically. I know, 911s are sort of the car that a lot of people go for, but I was really drawn to that mid-engined, balanced handling, and the fact that it has a trunk and a frunk, because I love to do road trips, and so I like the idea of having that additional space. I was looking for a Cayman. My other car is, I think, maybe closer to what I wasn't looking for is a very heavy, very powerful GT, and I just associated the Cayman as being something really nimble, really balanced, and so,
Okay, and where did you find the car?
So I started looking in December, thinking that I would buy myself a Cayman for my birthday in April.
Okay, oh cool, okay.
And I didn't really know much about the different models and the variations and pre-facelift and things like that. And so I started researching in December and just asking people about theirs. And I thought, okay, I'll start, I'll go test drive some, I'll understand what's out there. And this happened a lot faster than I had planned, because obviously I didn't wait until April.
No.
And I test drove it. I saw a Cayman S that a Porsche specialist had, because I thought a Cayman S, it was the slightly bigger engine, the 3.4. I wanted a first generation Cayman, and I went to see, this Cayman S, and then it was like, wait, what's this? What's this other thing you have? And then I learned all about, and the moment I was like, tell me what's, about this car, how it's different. I test drove it. And I think that was like a Saturday, and I called them up on Monday and was like, I want it. I want this car. And that actually was December 24th.
Oh my gosh, wow.
And so I was like, are you closing for Christmas? Like, how can I come and make this car mine? And they were like, yeah, come down. And so fortunately it was not far from where I live, so drove down, paid the deposit. And so it became a Christmas present instead of a birthday present.
Yeah, you found it fast, that's really, really nice.
Very fast, yeah. So I'm still learning about them, but it was love at first sight.
No, it's awesome. So differences between a Cayman S and a Cayman R. I know that there's rear spoiler, then there's the it's got a different, what is it called, front lip?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So 15% more downforce at the front, 40% more at the back because of the fixed spoiler.
Nice.
Let's see, aluminum doors. So a lot of it was about weight savings. So these are lightweight doors. The Cayman S and the base Cayman don't have, they have storage binnacles in the doors. There's no storage in these to make them lightweight. Smaller fuel tank, 54 liters. Again, for weight saving. It has a stiffer suspension. It doesn't have PASM. It has just sort of one set suspension, which is shorter springs, and it's quite stiffer. It's 22 millimeters lower than the Cayman S. And it has 10 more horsepower. 10 more horsepower. Yes. They squeezed it out of the exhaust, I think. And there's just a couple different features on the inside. A lot of it was about weight saving to really make it a track-focused car. And originally they came without air conditioning and a radio. You could spec those, obviously depending on whether you wanted it to be as lightweight as possible or not.
Does this have you got aircon and radio?
So this the original owner spec'd it with air conditioning, thankfully, and it does have a radio. Although I had one put in the past couple of months, so I had that changed. But yes, this has aircon and radio. It has the small tank, and I do notice that it really, depending on how you drive, it can really empty a tank quickly.
And I noticed you've got a track sticker up there. So is it Thruxton?
Yes, this was actually just a couple days ago. I was down at Thruxton, did a track day with it. It's my second track day with it.
Okay, cool.
And that's part of the reason, I'd say most of the reason I bought this car is that I wanted a track toy. And that's what these are made for. So
for sure.
Yeah, it's perfect for it. It was a blast. It's such a fast track. And actually, coincidentally or not, they had an instructor there, Mike Wilds, who's I think a reasonably well-known British kind of racing driver, Formula One driver. And he was there doing instruction, very lovely man, very soft-spoken. And he came up to me and said, would you like me to show you my racing line in your car? And I thought,
yeah,
sure. And I mean, I couldn't speak. I mean, the way he drove this thing, it showed me.
He drove your car?
He drove my car. Okay. So he took me out on the track as a passenger, and I was just speechless at how much this car can do in the right hands.
How capable it is.
How capable it is, you know, and I thought, yeah, I was just speechless the whole time. And, you know, when we finished and we kind of talked about it, he was like, you know, I didn't really push it all the way, you know, out of respect for other people's belongings. And I thought, oh my God, what does pushing it all the way look like? I mean, the way this thing moves, it was so exciting to see, because I really want to grow into, you know, getting the most out of it. And it was exciting to see what this car is capable of in his hands. And so, yeah, it's quite the endorsement.
Yeah, for sure. So you've done Thruxton. What other race circuits have you, is that the only one you've been to so far?
No, so the first track day with this was Bedford.
Okay, cool.
I heard that it's a very, you know, it doesn't have much elevation or any elevation changes. It's very wide, lots of space to run off. And it was a fantastic first track day. I had an absolute blast. And then Thruxton has more elevation changes, so it kind of adds that. It's also still very wide. And now I'm just excited to get a bunch more track days on the calendar.
I bet. And the summer's going to be full of them. So how after, because you got the car on January 4th.
Yes.
How long after that was the first track day?
March.
March,
I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
You waited for the weather to kind of get a little bit better.
I did. I actually, you know, wildly, I picked this up on January 4th with a friend who has a Cayman, and we went out for a drive. And it was just sort of meant to be like a celebration of buying the car and taking out for its first drive, and lost track of time and found ourselves in the South Downs in snow. And at the time, the car had Cup 2s on it.
Okay.
And so it was a bit nerve-wracking to find yourself driving in the hills in snow. It was dancing all over the road, and I thought, I got to get it home in one piece on the day that I, you know, picked it up. And so pretty much, you know, the first thing I did was have Pilot Sport 4s put on it, because I wanted something, you know, because I do plan to drive this in the wet, and so I wanted something that gave me a bit more grip.
For sure.
But yeah, March was the first one.
Okay. Have you got any others planned for the summer, or not yet? Just waiting.
I'm considering Anglesey in July.
Oh, okay,
I've heard it's a really stunning setting. I've heard good things about Donington. I'll probably be back at Bedford in September.
Okay.
So yeah, I've got a couple. A couple things planned.
Okay, awesome. So most memorable drive so far, would it be one of the track days, or have you taken it out? Have you taken it any long distances so far, or?
Not too far. I mean, I've been doing Cars and Coffee and these types of meets with it. And actually just last weekend, I went to a Cars and Coffee in Shoreham by Sea. Okay. Just sort of just west of Brighton. And I told my best friend to come along. I was like, listen, if you can come along and put up with about like an hour of Porsche talk in a parking lot, we can then spend the rest of the day by the seaside and we can have a blast.
You sold it.
And she was like, okay, fine. So we went and did the Cars and Coffee, saw some beautiful Porsches, talked to people about theirs, and then we went kind of along down to the Seven Sisters.
Okay,
and that whole area. And it was just, what a beautiful drive. You know, windows down. This country is so beautiful, green,
when the weather's nice, like it has been. We've been very lucky.
I'd say that was pretty memorable, because also, you know, sharing that with my friend, as she could see, you know, what a beautiful drive is like in one of these. So pretty memorable.
So this is Cayman R. So this is the rear spoiler, isn't it? That's right. That's the extra.
That's the fixed spoiler.
That's the fixed spoiler. Okay.
I think it's kind of funny how, you know, because the Cayman S has a spoiler, and I think it's funny how, to me, I mean, I'm still new to Porsches, but I think it's funny how the original spoiler looks like it's basically just been glued down. And then they were like, cool, we'll just chuck this one on top, you know. And I feel like I've always, you know, associated them with a brand that's like really into attention to detail and everything. And
for sure.
I think it speaks to the fact maybe that this was not an experiment, but you know, it was something that they were trying out, and they weren't going to redo, you know, the entire back of it. So the original spoilers,
it's just a little bit lower.
Just kind of hiding here, and then the fixed one is on top.
It looks really good. It sits really well. Everything just looks. It's a very pretty car.
It's very pretty. It really is.
I like it. And the wheels. So those are they the wheels specifically for the Cayman R? Is this
so these I think were the lightest wheels on any production car at the time.
Oh wow. Okay.
So these are part of that sort of weight saving ethos. These are lightweight 19-inch alloys.
Nice.
And this car actually, if you look at the spec sheet, originally came with these spec'd in red.
Oh.
I feel like that's a pretty bold, pretty bold statement.
Yeah.
But at some point over the car's lifetime, they got painted in black and then with that sort of silver stripe around the edge, which I think is really a good look.
No, it's a really nice touch.
A little dusty and dirty because, like I said, track day on Monday.
Yeah, no, I like it. I can see all of the track day remnants all over the car.
Yeah, chunks of rubber streaked on the side, absolutely plastered with bugs.
Yeah.
But yeah,
no,
it gets driven.
It's great. Inside, so buckets, does it come standard with those?
So it did at the time. You could spec them with bucket seats or sport seats. That was standard. This car was spec'd with buckets at some point in its lifetime. Those were replaced with the sport seats. Yeah. And actually, I was okay with that because I've read that the buckets can feel quite snug, especially if you have hips. Yeah. And I do have hips. And I do intend to drive this on road trips. And so for me, going for something, sacrificing that weight for a little bit of more comfort was acceptable. So so these are sport seats. And then it came with kind of these red seat belts, red door pulls. I can go around on the other side.
And even the gear shift, it's got it's in red on there as well, or is that?
I think that's standard that the lettering is painted in red. This was spec'd is a sort of detailed handbrake. Yeah. And then the Alcantara sports steering wheel, which is lovely. This one has extended leather dash, which is quite nice. Yeah, it's very nice. The sports chrono. Yeah. The all-important PSE for that beautiful sound. Yeah. And then I've heard it's actually quite unusual that this one has the cup holders because I think a lot of people didn't necessarily get these. They are pretty dinky.
They're useful though.
I wouldn't recommend them on a spirited drive. You might as well just dump the coffee in your lap directly instead of trying to use the cup holder. But on a casual drive, it's fantastic to have them. And I do make use of them. So apparently that's an unusual spec.
And you've gone PDK.
Yes, PDK.
Was that always going to be, were you always looking for PDK over manual?
Yeah, it was. I mean, for me, I think the idea of, shifting with my left just seemed like a lot to take on, getting used to driving and sitting on the other side of the car. Shifting with my left was something that I thought would just maybe add to the kind of mental load. And so I'm quite happy, the PDK is lightning fast.
Yeah, no, it is. They're so quick.
Yeah,
they're phenomenal. Would you mind, may I sit?
Please jump in.
I kind of want to see what it's like. And I love the Alcantara steering wheel.
It's so comfortable.
It's so nice. Yeah, it's such a nice touch.
I really love it. Yeah.
And so this is you did this, the Pioneer sound system.
Yeah,
well, not sound system, is it?
When this car was originally ordered, there were two options for the stereo. There was a more basic one and then a PCM. This had the more basic one. And so I felt like it was the only thing really that made this car feel dated was the fact that you were just so limited, to CD and radio. And so,
so now you can play your music.
So, I went around, I got some recommendations. I had this installed. It has Android Auto, which is what I use, and radio and everything. So it's, especially for those longer drives, quite comfortable.
Yeah, it's a really nice place to be.
Yeah. And the white interior, that's also...
I really like that.
Yeah, that's also an option. And
is it?
so
okay.
This was painted in white to match the exterior, and it carries through to the back, which is...
Oh gosh, all the way,
Yeah, which is really quite... I feel like it really changes the character of the inside. So there's a few other details about it. It doesn't have door sills. That was also a weight-saving feature, and so there's the sticker reminding you that it's a Cayman R. There's no cowl. Sort of over the dash. And so the Cayman S and the Cayman have a cowl over it, and this doesn't. So I'm sure that was a significant weight saving.
Yeah, no, for sure. And they're quite rare, these.
They are. I think, from my research, they're between 1,400 and 1,600 of them were made. I think, about 600 went to the U.S. Handful of them came here, and about half of them are PDK and half are manual. Okay. So I think at some point there were, it's hard to pin down the exact numbers, but about 200 of them in the UK. And they are rare. They are. I mean,
I was looking online last night, and just to have a little nosy, and there's only 3 available in the UK at the moment.
Yes. And I think some people. As happens with many cars, they treat them as almost like collector's item, and they like to hang on to them. And actually, when I was at Thruxton on Monday, I had a garage, and a lovely gentleman in the garage next to me was out there with a Yaris GR. I love those.
Cool, they're very cool.
Insane little cars.
Yeah.
And he came up to me and said, oh my gosh, I've got one of these. And he said, I saw you pull in. I thought, oh my gosh, a Cayman R. And he said, I can't believe you're tracking it.
Yeah.
He said, I haven't tracked mine. I haven't been brave enough because I just think it's too special. It's too nice.
But that's what they're meant for, isn't it? So it's got an LSD as standard.
Yeah, it's got an LSD.
It's ready to go.
Yeah, it's ready to go.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's a valid opinion. He's got something else he can take out on track.
Yeah,
but I feel quite excited that I do take it out and give it a good thrash. And,
I love
and
that.
honestly, you put it in Sport Plus mode. And I mean, I use Sport mode, day to day, but I reserve Sport Plus mode for track because it is angry. But the sound of it, just the way it gets through the gears and revs so high, it's absolute music.
No, it is.
Yeah.
It's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, if you want to pop the trunk, it's just there on the door sill.
Do this one.
And so the way that the
so much space for you've got loads of space for all of your stuff for road trips. That's great.
Beautiful sounding engine is all tucked away.
Yeah, and you can hear it right behind you as well.
The sound is amazing. Yeah. I actually tried for the first time. I put a GoPro on that mount just there on the bar, and one of the best things about it was just Monday, so I watched a couple of the videos, and it actually gets the sound because obviously it's like sitting right on top, and the sound of those videos is fantastic. And so you've got two little storage.
Yeah, I just noticed that on that side. There's another one on here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's more storage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So two little storage thingies, and then obviously luggage net.
Oh gosh, really, that's so cool.
Yeah. They're surprisingly deep.
Pockets.
Yeah, little pockets. Yeah.
I love a pocket.
And this I think was also like an extra accessory that kind of hides what you might have in the trunk. Yeah. Which is pretty cool.
No, it's great. It's absolutely awesome. So everything on it is standard, I'm assuming. You haven't done anything with it or skin it?
No, not. I mean, other than the stereo, I figured, I kind of want to let the car tell me who it is.
Yeah.
I kind of want to have it for, at least
maybe a little while.
Yeah, maybe a year. Do some road trips with it, do track days with it, and then eventually think about some things. But I can't even imagine what it needs. It's so balanced. It's so perfect. It sounds amazing. It's a fantastic car.
No, it really, that's awesome. It sounds great. When you were reversing in earlier, it's really fruity. It's really nice.
Yes. Yeah. It's got a fantastic sound.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's awesome. I like all the black detail as well. So that's obviously all standard with the that's how they spec the car, the previous owner, I guess, with all the black.
So no, this this was standard on the R, the decals, and so if you had the white one, they came in black. Other colors that the R is commonly found in is like peridot, which is the press tour color for it. It's this beautiful sort of metallic lime green.
Oh, okay, yes, no, I've seen that.
And that has the decals as well. There's also silver.
Yeah, there's not many colors out there, is there?
Not too many. Silver, the blue I've never in person, I've seen pictures of it. Blue with silver decals is quite beautiful. Black with white decals. And then there's a couple of, PTS ones, I think, and like yellow, a very bright Viper green. But the black and the white to me is
looks great.
It's a great combo. It's a really great combo.
No, it really is.
Yeah, it's a good looking car.
And so you mentioned you've got another car.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, that car is a big part of the reason why I bought this car. So I have a 2004 CL55 AMG,
nice.
A big giant Mercedes, and it is just the ultimate like road trip cruiser.
Yeah.
Just give it a straight line, give it the Autobahn, and holy crap, can that thing go?
Yeah.
And it's a really comfortable cruiser. I drove it in U.S. coast to coast a couple times.
That's so cool.
Did some fantastic road trips, and it has a massive trunk and a massive engine, and so it's a real mile muncher.
Yep.
And I brought it when I moved here. I brought it with me from the States.
I love that.
And then I started realizing that it's not ideal to drive around, these country roads and these small towns and these tiny parking lots in this ginormous Mercedes. Yeah. So this really is my, B-road explorer, and I love getting out on weekends and going to like little towns and these beautiful roads that you have scattered all over.
Yeah.
This just feels so much more nimble and so much more dialed in.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
I mean, the Mercedes is great at what the Mercedes is great at, but this is great at just getting out there and exploring. Yeah.
It's a great two-car garage you've got there.
I think so.
No, it's perfect. You've got a bit of both. A bit of everything there.
Yeah.
And now number plate.
Yes.
Personal plate. So you're Jessica. I don't see any J's in there.
No. Yeah. There's no J's. So it kind of represents a lot about the spirit of why I got this car. So basically, it's flat six.
Okay.
Can't be fucked. Yeah, I know.
Like
I know.
that.
It's a little edgy. And I got it because, I don't know, I just felt like I was entering an era of like, who cares what people think?
Yeah.
I want a Cayman.
Yeah.
I want to track it.
Yeah.
I want to have fun. And this is my kind of get out there and have fun and do whatever you want kind of car.
Yeah.
And so I think it was a bit, I just can't be fucked caring, what people
I love
think.
that. No, I love that.
Yeah.
So has she got a name?
Yes, she is named Bellatrix.
Great name.
I name all of my cars after badass women, and Bellatrix is known as the Amazon star, the Amazon warrior in a constellation called Orion.
That's so cool.
Actually, one of my best friends picked the name because I was like, I'm not sure what to name her. The Mercedes is called Boudica. Boudica was a warrior who defended England against the Romans, I believe.
Okay, cool.
And so, I like giving my cars female warrior names.
I like that.
Yeah.
No, that's really, really cool. That's seriously some badass women names there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially for, a car that I intend on using, for track.
Yeah.
It's, on Monday at Thruxton, I was the only woman
Really?
out on track with a car.
Wow.
I wasn't the only at Bedford a couple of months ago, but,
Yeah.
it is unusual. And
Yeah.
in fact, when I was going around to sort of Porsche specialists and dealers looking for a Cayman S, I went to one place, which will remain unnamed.
Oh, gosh.
And the salesman asked me what I was looking for and what I had in mind, and I said, I'm looking for a Cayman. I'd like to do track days with it. And he said, track days? I've never heard of a woman buying a Porsche for a track.
Oh my God.
And it wasn't oh wow, I've never heard of a woman buying a Porsche for track.
That is awful.
I've never heard of a woman buying a Porsche for track.
Oh my God.
And I was just like,
I'm
well,
sorry.
you're not going to see it happen here.
Oh,
with,
yeah.
with that attitude.
Too right.
And so I kept looking. But I mean, it's still it's funny because you think to yourself, it's 2025. No one who's left with that opinion. But at a recent Cars and Coffee, I was talking to a lovely couple, and they had a beautiful red 911, and I said something about how I'd been to Bedford with it.
Yeah.
And the husband, he was like, Bedford, why? And she smacked him and said, well, she didn't go to buy a coffee, it's a track. She went to drive on it. Because his reaction was like, why would you be at Bedford? Why would you go on, Bedford with us? And she called him a Neanderthal and gave him a solid thump. And I was like, yes.
Yeah. No, that's
so
too much of
I
that.
mean, it is unusual, but I've met lovely women at events, and the vast majority of men I meet are very, welcoming.
No, they are.
Yeah.
The majority of them are.
Vast
There's
majority,
just that 1% that just.
Yeah, still has to make that mindset shift. Women drive cars, and women drive fast cars.
Yeah. For sure.
I have to say, like, my love of cars came from my dad. Pretty much. My dad and my brother.
Yeah, that's normally where it starts.
Yeah, that's always where it starts. I mean, my dad, we did family road trips, a lot of them, all over Europe, all over the States.
That's great.
Even South America.
Wow, okay.
And so
Dad was a big petrol head?
Dad was a big petrol head.
Dad is a big petrol head.
A Mercedes fan, hence the Mercedes. And actually, I'd say I'd credit my brother with making me notice Porsches, because he always talked about how Porsches were like a daily driven sports car. He's like, people buy these 911s and they drive them to work. They put thousands of miles on them. And I thought, oh, a Porsche, okay, yeah. And so his dream was always to have a 911. And the more I learned about them, I settled on the Cayman. But it was really my dad and my brother who gave me the love of cars, road trips. They cheer me on, when I do track days and I do big journeys in it. And I can't wait for them to come over here to
I was going to say, has your brother come over? Has he driven it yet?
Not yet. No. We've got to see who comes over first, either Dad or my brother.
And would you let them drive it?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's just such a special experience.
Yeah.
And a beautiful sound. So
it's nice to share it when you can.
Yeah, I would. I remember I was very little, and we were living in the States at the time and had come to visit family in Spain. And I must have been 8, and I think the first car I ever fell in love with was a Fiat Coupe.
Okay.
Designed by Chris Bangle and Pininfarina, the interior. Oh, yeah. And it has these sort of slashes on the wheels and the 4 lights at the back. And I think I was 8, and I sort of stopped and said to my dad, what is that? I think that was the first car I ever fell in love with. And go figure, it was a 2-door coupe and such a fun little car.
So it was in the blood from an early age.
Yes, yes, that's
Petrol.
where it all began, probably. That and road trips, which I think, you know, again, like this having that practicality to take it on road trips is part of the reason why
road trips are the best. You could just create so many memories, and it's the fact that you've got everything you need in and around you, and you can just go anywhere you like, and you're all of a sudden, you leave your house, and the next minute you're like in Italy, or you're going down to Spain or whatever. It's just it's wonderful.
Or even here, I mean, I can't wait to get up to Scotland, even Wales, and do some beautiful drives in the UK. I mean, this is such a stunning country, and you have all these like lovely little villages and wonderful windy roads that I feel like this is the perfect car to get out and explore the UK in as well.
It is. It's a great car. It's perfect size, very nimble.
The other car is my sort of bit more of a garage queen, and I'm very fastidious with it.
Yeah.
And I plan to take very good care of this. I plan to keep it. Yeah. But I probably plan to use it a lot more.
Yeah.
And so I just
Well, it's also very new. It's new to you, so it's like this is going to get a lot of miles in.
Yes, it has gotten. I think I mean already in the past couple months, probably about 3,000 miles.
Oh wow, nice. Oh great.
So, yeah, I've been out there driving it. Yeah.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I've noticed you've got a few stickers on the windscreen, on the little windows. I'm gonna give you another one. And see if we can squeeze it in there.
One more to
somehow.
add. So these are just kind of the car clubs and things that I've been joining to have weekends out.
Is this going to be allowed on there?
Oh, for sure. It's going to be an honor, honestly. We got to find a spot for it.
Yeah, I don't think, well, it's up to you, wherever you want to put. You don't have to do it now. I can always just give it to you and you can do it later.
No, let's christen it. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Do you want me to try and open it?
Go for it.
I know we both have long nails. This is
I feel like this might be the perfect spot for it.
Yeah, I think so too.
For some reason on this side, they've all turned out to be circles. But yeah, I mean, and part of the reason I wanted a Porsche was the community.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's such a strong community around these cars.
Yeah.
And it's such a great way to meet other people that are into them.
No,
and
for
so
sure.
I've just been out there kind of joining different groups and doing cars and coffee.
It's a wonderful community.
Yeah, it's a wonderful community.
Yeah.
And so it was, when I was considering which cars to get, I looked at an Alpine and I looked at some alternatives. And ultimately what drew me to have a Porsche is that idea that, there's a big community around it.
It's a massive community. It's
really and a real appreciation for these cars. Yeah. And so, the Cayman R is pretty special, but there's so many special Porsches. That's what I love about it. So, let's christen it.
I'll let you put it on. I've flipped that over so it's easy for you to take off.
Yeah, we do both have long nails.
Yeah, I know. Thanks.
All right. Well, it's the pressure of getting this right. Getting it right live. Okay. There we go.
Nice.
Amazing.
Nice.
Look at that.
It looks good. It matches the car.
It does.
It's
black
perfect.
and white. Yeah. Maybe I should do black and white stickers only.
Yeah. No, it looks great.
Yeah.
Oh, Jessica, thank you so much for coming in. It's been a real pleasure to have you. Really nice to get to learn about you in the car. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Likewise, Annabel. Yeah, it's great to be here. I mean, what a beautiful space and what an amazing collection you have here as well. So it's a real honor and privilege to.
You're welcome back whenever.
Come down.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you. Take care.